Today's topic are the plan changes for jungle in Season 4. There are quite a few to go over. I can't cover everything in this video, but this should give you an insight in a new XP and gold values, what that means for the jungler in comparison to the laners, and so on and so on. Let's begin with the most obvious. Now every camp on the map will spawn 30 seconds into the game. That means you can decide to start in a lane with a laner, because that's the time where the minions clash and clear away first and then go for a camp, or you can solo clear a camp while the laner is in the lane. From what it seems so far, the preferred path, or what Hi-Rez is pushing towards, is the jungler clearing camps on his own for his teammates. This is strongly indicated by the factors that there is more XP in the jungle and more gold in the jungle, while also taking away the shared gold passive from Bumba's mask. So you're actually just gonna get half of the gold if you share a camp. Only the XP is shared a little more in your favor, but also not completely. So as such, what does that mean for junglers? Can we actually see junglers that will completely rely on jungle farm and not stick to lanes at all? From what I can tell from the numbers so far, obviously this has to be tested out in the field as well, this is actually very likely. If we compare the numbers for previous seasons, I actually still have the old values for Season 2 as well, there were quite a few shifts in how much gold and how much XP you could get in the jungle. In Season 2 we had roughly 1500 XP in the jungle along with 500 gold. In Season 3, with the introduction of the boars, the XP value went down to roughly 1300. We had 550 gold though. Then at the end of Season 3, so what we have in the current patch, we are at 1446 XP and 725 gold in the jungle. So the XP hasn't really changed from Season 2, the gold has increased by roughly 200. Quite a significant factor, but still we see camps being shared, and this increased gold value obviously goes to all the other laners as well, as long as Bumba's mask functions the way it functions now. So in the end, the gold benefit is for everyone pretty much, or everyone who roams with the jungler. In Season 4, these values will increase again, partially due to the fact that we have more jungle camps, but also that the jungle camps are different. There is quite a heavy XP and gold shift when it comes to mid lane. The XP of the mid harpies is actually halved. Big harpies in general give a lot less XP, whereas small harpies give more in comparison. So it will actually be a lot less worthwhile contesting every single mid camp when there are many other objectives on the map that you can contest. The total XP value in the jungle is now 1695 XP, assuming you get one of the mid camps and you get both the fire elementals and the oracle harpies. If you don't get the oracle harpies, then the total XP value is 1525. So still a little bit over what we had previously, and absolutely the highest value we ever had in terms of XP, but it only really becomes a significantly higher value the moment that you secure oracle harpies and fire elementals. The total gold value, on the other hand, is drastically increased. If you secure everything, you get 884 gold. If you don't secure the oracle harpies, you get 800 gold. But on top of that, there is Bumba's mask's bonus. The description is unfortunately a little unclear, and what it is that it says currently that the bonus gold for Bumba's mask is per camp, but it is not really clarifying it's actually per camp or per minion in a camp. If it's per camp, then the bonus gold would only be 36, and that would hardly make Bumba's mask being worth picked up in that regard, just for the extra gold. If it is per minion in the camp, which I think is more likely, then it's 100 gold, and that's actually quite a fair bit. So we're ending up at nearly 1000 gold in the jungle if you really are able to secure everything, and otherwise it's still somewhere between 800 and 900 most likely. There are some parts of the information that are still missing. For example, there is the Elder Fire Elemental now, and it's not exactly clear if it replaces one of the tiny elementals or if we're gonna have 4 elements there. I think it replaces one, as with every other camp, so I assumed that for the calculations. Also, there is a change in XP to the small Cyclops of the Rogue camp, which is introduced, so that has a new value. And this change is not in the patch notes for the other small camps. So maybe, which I think is also very unlikely, the XP camp or the XP from the small Cyclopses around the Rogue camp is higher than the other Cyclopses on the map, but I highly doubt that. So I think I just assume for this calculation that it's all evened out and that it's just missing in the patch notes. So overall, buff camps still give a very high amount of XP, as it always was the case. The back huppies still give a good amount of XP, actually not quite as much as beforehand, but at the same time mids give a lot less. So it's still worth quite a fair bit to clear those back huppies. The fire elementals are definitely worth contesting with the elemental being introduced. However, it takes a little longer to clear, and so are the oracle huppies, not only for the XP but also for the vision. I think this will be a highly contested area earlier in the game. Back in the day, I also compared jungle farm to lane farm. The whole jungle was worth roughly 4 waves in terms of XP and gold. Just a very approximate number, but some sort of idea on a comparison between the two. Now, these values have changed quite drastically, due to the fact that both melee, brutes and archers in the wave now give less XP. There is a bit of a larger disparity between the farm, so now it will roughly take 5, almost 6 waves until you are even with the complete jungle XP farm. And in terms of gold, the whole jungle is actually worth roughly 9 to 10 waves of gold. However, if the laner was to last hit everything, then the whole jungle would be worth roughly 6 wave of last hit gold, so to speak. So the truth is somewhere in between, but the whole jungle should be roughly 7 to 8 waves of gold in total value if you are able to clear out everything. And that's a lot better than 4 waves, which we previously had. So overall, I would say there is a decent chance that you can solo clear the jungle now and get your money's worth that way. In terms of gold, I think it will definitely be worth it, especially with Bumba's mask. The question is, will you be able to clear the jungle on your own efficiently enough? So you have to probably have Bumba's mask for that. Maybe certain gods that clear jungle camps relatively fast will see a rise in popularity in general. In terms of XP, I feel like you still get more, but there's also the risk of falling behind a little bit because you can't leech waves as much because there is less XP in the wave, so the laners kind of need their waves. So maybe in that context we'll see a bit of a shift where junglers get more ahead in terms of items than they get ahead in terms of XP. What also could be the case is that the laners maybe feel like they don't get enough XP from the lane and they try to leech in the jungle. Something that is very much possible, and it will still allow you to clear camps relatively fast that way. The question is it still going to be efficient enough, and who's going to benefit from that more in the end? But with all these stats given, I think we will see a very different jungle to the previous seasons, and I think that the overall playstyle for junglers will very much change, despite of there being no major changes in terms of layout of the jungle or layout of the actual Conquest map. And I personally am looking forward to that. Let me know in the comments down below if you feel the same. I will obviously go more in depth into this topic within the next days as soon as I have played some PTS and have had the chance to test all the things out in the game. With that, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you for the next video tomorrow. SLOTH out.